your mental health impacts everything else, right? I'm very much a believer in a holistic approach to things.
Tonight, a day to reflect on mental health.
Our vision for this project was simple: reduce our community's reliance on imported fossil fuels using the power of the wind.
A First Nation in Yukon seeks to reduce the territory's carbon footprint.
I'll smudge and I'll meditate before I start cooking, because in this way I'm got my positive energy.
And a Cree chef finds full-time satisfaction in a new venture. Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. The Saskatchewan government has revealed an action plan to address homelessness and addictions in the province. The province announced an investment of $40.2 million over the next 2 years to create 155 supportive housing spaces, 120 new permanent emergency wellness centers, and 30 new emergency wellness shelters for complex needs. Another $49.4 million will be invested over 5 years to create 500 new addictions treatment spaces and a more responsive central intake system. Chief Mark Arcand is with the Saskatoon Tribal Council, one of the organizations running treatment programs. He welcomes the initiative.
I want to be part of this because I think Indigenous-led, you can see the results that I'm showing, is making a difference in our city. We know how to respond to our people because our people trust us. And I think at the end of the day, if we keep being accountable and transparent, we should be able to make some headway, but we need that investment.
Today is World Mental Health Day. It's a time to reflect on the state of mental health across communities and to engage in self-care. We spoke to registered social worker Philip Collins about the mental health of Indigenous peoples. He says Indigenous peoples have been impacted by collective trauma through shared experiences of residential schools, loss of culture, and racism. He's found issues like these are difficult to tackle alone, but ceremonies and community events can help create a sense of belonging. Collins says we are currently healing the trauma experienced by our past 7 generations, and we can help our future generations through mental health healing today.
Your mental health impacts everything else, right? I'm very much a believer in a holistic approach to things. I mean, I think our physical health impacts our mental health, which impacts our emotional health, which impacts our spiritual health, and it all just kind of goes in a circle and all ties in. So if you're not taking care of your mental health, it's the equivalent of essentially trying to take one of the legs off your table and then wondering why it won't stay upright.
A 32-year-old woman from Pelican Narrows, Saskatchewan, who has been missing since May, has been found deceased. Sheena Lynn Seawap was reported missing on May 18th of this year. She was last seen in Pelican Narrows. The RCMP in Saskatchewan said in a media release on October 7th that Seawap was found deceased, but they didn't say where she was found. They said Seawap's death is not considered suspicious, although an investigation in conjunction with the Saskatchewan Coroner Service is continuing. No further information has been provided. Pelican Narrows is 380 kilometers north of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. In a Truro, Nova Scotia provincial courtroom, 4 people from the Millbrook Mi'kmaq Nation are facing cannabis charges. But they say they have a constitutional right to operate cannabis stores. Here's Angel Moore.
I'm here at the Truro Provincial Court, where Jason Brooks, Alicia Brooks, Matthew Cope, and Darren Marshall, all of the Millbrook First Nation, are charged under the Cannabis Act. Alicia Brooks attended court by herself, saying the others could not afford to take time off work. Brooks says it all began when 3 cannabis stores were first raided on June 2nd, 2021. Brooks says they have a treaty right protected by the Constitution to sell cannabis.
I just want it to be over and done with, and you know what I mean? And hopefully we do set precedents, and we will make a change, and we will bring these rights and be allowed so that it's legal and we don't have to worry about the cops raiding us every other day.
Presiding Judge Rhonda Vanderhook says the Crown has established their case, so court will resume next week when defense lawyer Jack Lloyd releases the names of his expert witnesses to the Crown in preparation for his client's constitutional defense. Angel Moore, APTN National News, Truro, Nova Scotia.
Thanks, Angel. An update now on a story we brought you last week about a shelter causing trouble in downtown Whitehorse. Now, Yukon government says it's working to improve the shelter so downtown businesses, workers, and residents are safe. Here's Sarah Connors with details.
Yukon Premier Ranch Pillay says his government is committed to finding solutions for the Whitehorse emergency shelter. Last month, Alpine Bakery announced it was temporarily closing due to issues caused by shelter users at the Whitehorse emergency shelter. Now, Pillay says he's taking swift action to balance the needs of shelter clientele and the rights of people living and operating businesses in the downtown core. Those promises include piloting a downtown safety outreach initiative like Winnipeg's Bear Clan Patrol to address safety concerns, removing privacy benches in front of the shelter to discourage gathering, and working to address outside and after-hours gatherings of people who are not shelter clients. Pillay says he's tasked public servants with finding him options for the shelter in the next 2 weeks. Yukon government, the Council of Yukon First Nations, and the RCMP are expected to meet this week to discuss next steps. Walter Streit, co-owner of Alpine Bakery, says all he hears is talk and no real action, and if things don't improve, he'll be forced to close the bakery permanently. Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
Thanks, Sarah. RCMP are hoping someone will come forward with information about a fire that destroyed a church in God's Lake First Nation, about 550 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg last month. Twisted metal and charred debris are all that remain of the building after the fire, September 3rd. It happened at 3:40 in the morning. RCMP are urging anyone with information to come forward or submit an anonymous tip at Manitoba Crime Stoppers. This is the second time a church has burned down in the community. In May of last year, the Roman Catholic Church was also lost to fire. A mixed martial arts gym in Quebec is celebrating a milestone. We have that story and much more still to come. Welcome back. The Yukon will soon be reducing its carbon footprint thanks to a new First Nation clean energy project. As Sarah Connors tells us, it's the first of its kind in the north.
There was celebration in Whitehorse Tuesday for the completion of a new renewable energy project that will help reduce the territory's reliance on fossil fuels. The Heckle Hill Wind Farm is managed by Eagle Hill Energy Partnership, a project of Kwanlin Dun First Nations Development Corporation, Yukon. It's the first entirely Indigenous-owned wind power project in northern Canada.
Our vision for this project was simple: reduce our community's reliance on imported fossil fuels using the power of the wind.
The $30 million project received funding from Canada, Canor, and the Clean Energy for Rural and Remote Communities program. 4 new turbines will replace 2 decommissioned turbines previously owned by Yukon Energy. Their 4-megawatt capacity is expected to produce enough clean energy to power 650 homes over 20 years.
Right now it's 650 homes. Maybe next time we'll double that. So thank you.
Yukon CEO says economic development projects like Heckle Hill are reconciliation and action.
And it also means empowering our people. That's what reconciliation means to me. But everybody has a different version of reconciliation.
At 46 meters tall, the turbines are larger in size than the originals, allowing them to access stronger airflow. Their design also includes black heated blades, which will help with de-icing in the winter. The turbines will run during the colder months when winds are strongest and will help offset 115 tons of greenhouse gas emissions.
These advanced cold climate wind turbines will continue to drive research and innovation, paving the way for wind energy to play a larger role in Yukon's clean energy future.
The turbines are expected to be operational later this month. Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
An on-reserve mixed martial arts gym in eastern Quebec is celebrating its 11th year running this month. Amelia Fournier spoke with the owner, Mi'kmaq Dwayne Ward, about his journey and what it takes to fight.
As First Nations also, we are natural-born warriors. We have warrior blood in our DNA.
Standing at 5'10", weighing in at 262 pounds, Dwayne Ward stays ready for combat. Nearing 50 years old, he's still going strong.
I love to train. I don't train just for fights. I fought before. My last fight was in 2015. It's now 2023. I'm still training. You know what I mean? Because I love this testing myself, challenging myself, getting myself ready. You know what I mean? Keeping my blade sharp.
He runs the vault out of his home in the Mi'kmaq community of Listigish.
I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight for a class of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the vault.
It's a mixed martial arts gym that draws in around 100 people from his community and neighboring French, English, and First Nations communities.
I push off my leg and I go over his shoulder. Once I do this, I switch my grip, thumbs up.
Ward has been practicing jiu-jitsu, boxing, and MMA since age 38.
And then I just push his wrist back. Boom, for a tap.
His fighting has led him to winning 2 fights and jiu-jitsu tournaments and to doing security for UFC fighters. But before that, he fought an inner battle.
I was a very bad alcoholic, very bad drug addict, life of crime, getting in trouble with the law all the time, getting in trouble with girlfriends, getting in trouble with family, everybody around me all the time. And my life was going downhill.
At 25, he went to rehab. He says his sobriety is what's allowed him to keep up with the young fighters at his gym.
I don't come down from booze. I don't come down from drugs. I'm always, all I need is a cup of coffee and play some Metallica tunes and I'm ready to go. You know what I mean?
He drew on his experience as an addictions counselor and youth intervention worker.
Underhook, back to tricep. Underhook, back to tricep. Let's go.
And now he helps people by coaching kids and adults from all walks of life.
MMA is up here too. It's not just physical. It's not being able to beat a person or kick a person or do jujitsu or whatever on a person. It's also, so many people have come to me and told me, Dwayne, I was suicidal. Dwayne, I couldn't go out of the house and talk to people. Dwayne, I didn't socialize with people. Dwayne, I had mental health problems. After class, I don't feel those things.
He says MMA also teaches discipline. To win fights, you need to work hard.
It's all about doing your homework first. I always tell people you got to do your cardio, you got to do your sparring, you got to do your pad work, you got to do your bag work, you got to do your everything that it takes. Head kick. Good. One more.
Ward says MMA is a great outlet for everyone.
I say, I can go hit a person, they hit me, and I don't get charged at the end of it, and we shake hands. You know what I mean? Like, what other better kind of profession that you can get into that if you got that violent side, that alpha side in you, that's you train hard, you got that aggressiveness in you that you need to get out. This is a perfect place for to take that aggression out. You go under. You grab his hips, boom.
Emilia Fournier, APTN National News, Listigouche, Quebec.
Awesome stuff, Dwayne. Great looking gym you've built yourself there. Now to a Cree entrepreneur in Edmonton who has made her love of cooking food into a full-time business. APTN's Chris Stewart spoke to Kim, owner of Kim's Creations.
So we're just going to mix this up, and then we're going to mix it. We're going to make it into balls there.
Kimberly Yellowknee has a long history of cooking. After watching and helping her cook him as a child, that began her love of cooking for others. She was the one who at family dinners and gatherings would always be in the kitchen all day. A year ago, she started her own catering business, Kim's Creations. It wasn't easy at first.
I didn't feel like I was getting enough momentum just doing the weekly menus and just putting on Facebook and the Instagram posts. So I started commenting on other things too, on other people's businesses and doing this and that, like more networking, I guess, on social media. And then I started doing the farmers markets, getting my name out there. I just actually got an honorary nomination from the Southwest Farmers Market.
Now business is good. She will be needing help for the upcoming holidays. Like her cookum, she doesn't measure. It's just the amounts that feel right and putting positive energy into what she does.
I'll smudge and I'll meditate before I start cooking, because in this way I got my positive energy into there, and I put in my love into my cooking, and I put in my loving energies into it, and I think good thoughts about and what I'm grateful for while I'm cooking. It's already starting to smell good.
She says there are dishes that people are crazy about.
My meatballs, my meatloaf and stuff, a lot of people love. And then my chicken meatballs is like one of my top favorites, and a lot of people are raving about it. So, and then my bannock, a lot of people love my bannock and the different flavors that I provide, because I'm trying to come up with different flavors each month.
This reporter gives it high marks. The chicken meatballs and Cinnabanic were amazing and filling.
I love cooking. I love feeding people and having gatherings, and I believe food is family because it brings your family together. And it's a togetherness, you know, you share this awesome meal together, and everybody, who doesn't like to have a good meal?
You can order dishes on Kim's Creations social media pages. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Sherwood Park, Alberta.
Would have been disappointed if Chris didn't try some out for himself. Coming up after the break, we'll introduce you to a 10-year-old carrying on the family fishing business. Stick around. Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. This from one of our faithful viewers, Dave Menzies, shared this Saturday morning sunrise from the mouth of the Red River, located in southern Manitoba. Thanks for watching and contributing, Dave. If you'd like to contribute, send your photo to share@aptn.ca for the chance to be our next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting on the east coast, 17 with showers in Charlottetown, 18 with rain in Halifax, 8 with showers in Kuujjuaq and Nain, 14 with rain in Montreal, 9 and showers in Chibougamau, 11 with rain in Sault Ste. Marie, 12 in North Bay with rain, 14 with showers in Thunder Bay, rain and 10 for Sioux Lookout, 7 in Churchill, cloudy, and 11 in Norway House, 12 for Winnipeg, 15 in Dauphin, sun's out, and 16 for Regina, 15 and sunny in Saskatoon, 13 and sunny in Meadow Lake and Buffalo Narrows. Over in northern Alberta, sunny and 15 for High Level and Fort McMurray. 17 with showers in Edmonton, rain, and 14 in Lethbridge. 15 with showers in Vancouver, 18 in Kamloops. 14 in Prince George, 9 and cloudy in Dease Lake. -1 for Old Crow, +7 with rain in Whitehorse. 12 in Yellowknife, +2 in Norman Wells. Snow and -1 in Sax Harbor, flurries and 2 above in Paulatuck. 6 in Chesterfield, 9 in Whale Cove and Arviette. -1 with snow in Resolute, 4 above in Joe Haven. Our next story is about a family legacy of fishing being passed down to the next generation. APTN's Tina House has this story about a 10-year-old boy learning the trade from his dad.
Alright, John, let's play this granny game. Okay. There. Press start.
10-year-old Michael Sparrow is just like any other young boy. He loves to hang out and play video games with his 7-year-old sister, Cheyenne. And he loves to ride a scooter in his neighborhood after school. Except Michael isn't exactly like other 10-year-olds. Michael gets up before sunrise and works full-time on the weekend and summers with his dad, Mike, on the family's fishing boat.
It's been pretty cool. When I was 7, I didn't really like the boat, but when I came out when I was like 8 years old or something, I started like really liking it.
And for Michael, he has become a valued crew member, often running hydraulics, sometimes steering the boat for his dad.
Tell me when to stop.
And for his dad, Mike Sparrow, it's a family legacy, being able to teach Michael because Mike was taught from his late dad, Lyle, when he was just a little boy. And now he's passing down the knowledge and family tradition.
It's definitely like my purpose in life, or that's pretty much what it's been, is to pass on what I've learned and from my father, is to pass it on to my son, and to inspire him to work hard and put a strong work ethic into him, so that whether he fishes for a living or whatever he does, he'll know how to apply himself, and that's pretty much what I was taught.
It's hard without experience to cut it all properly, but you just start on a 3 and you'll see how it comes together for you.
Wilfred Wilson is a cousin, and today he's teaching little Michael about how to repair the net.
You know, young as he is, you see that slow advancement of the knowledge gathered, the physical abilities, desire, and it's all coming together for him, where he's got a good life in front of him if he so chooses to be on the water, in my opinion.
And for little Michael, he is taking this very seriously.
Tell me about your favorite memory of being on the boat.
Catching a lot of fish and going seining, like we're about to do.
And today, they are fishing for salmon on the Fraser River.
It warms my heart to see him take such an interest in it, and he has right from day one. But really, it was mostly when COVID happened that he was with me exclusively, and we fished together a lot. Like, we were out 2 or 3 times a week, and he'd never miss a day. He was there every day.
And for Michael, staying overnight on the boat with his dad is very special to him.
Just like when we're like by ourselves, but we're about to go to sleep. Like it's like I always think about how much we're gonna catch like tomorrow.
Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Award-winning Anishinaabe photographer Nadia Quandabens is our guest on an all-new episode of Face to Face tonight. Earlier this year, Quandabens was named Photo Laureate for the City of Toronto. She says one photo can invoke so many emotions.
Joy, happiness, pride. That's the main reason why I do. That's the main reason why I do what I do, is I want to share because our people are so vibrant, so beautiful, and there's so many nations, you know what I mean? So it's just so, I have to pinch myself sometimes that, I've lived the life that I've lived so far, and the choices that I've made have, led me here.
And you can watch that episode with Nadia on Face to Face right here in less than 2 minutes time. And be sure to join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for In Focus. Daryl will be speaking with Indigenous women entrepreneurs from the floor of the She Conference. That's all the time we have for your APTN National News for this Tuesday. For much more, you can visit our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Dennis Ward. Thanks for being with us. Stick around for Face to Face.